So guys, this is Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary over some Ricochet gameplay. The score in the background is a 25-0. It's on the map Onyx. I've been talking to a couple of people recently who said they don't like Onyx, and I would kind of have to assume you're insane. I friggin' love Onyx so much. The great thing about Onyx is, it's one of these maps that when you first lay eyes on it, it looks pretty simplistic, and it looks like there's not much going for it. But you start to realize there's more and more layers that you can peel back, more and more jump routes, more and more ways of navigating in and out of the bases, that there's a lot of depth behind what you initially first see, and I freaking love maps like that. That is, in my opinion, the idea of a great map. You know, a map that just seems overly complicated and it doesn't necessarily know what it wants to be. I don't like those maps. I like those maps that come across as being very easy to get from point A to point B, but it's also got a lot of connecting routes that really bring the game to life. Anyhow, what I wanted to talk about today is kind of regarding passion for your games, and this is more coming from a YouTuber's perspective rather than just an average player, because I feel like if you're an average player, you know, if you're not passionate about a game, you don't need to play it. But whereas a YouTuber's perspective, it can get a little bit complicated. For example, the people who have been commentating Call of Duty for so long, they've built up a huge audience that, you know, they've got so many people invested in watching their Call of Duty videos that if they stop doing it and move to another game, it could be very problematic for them because, you know, people are pretty stubborn about what they choose to watch. If they came for Call of Duty, they don't necessarily want to watch something like Halo or watch something like Gears of War because they're both kind of niches in their own respect. A space marine game where you run around in space murdering people is a lot different to a semi-realistic Modern Warfare game. They're two completely different things, let's be honest. But, you know, I personally think that I've been kind of harsh on people who quit Halo 4, to be honest, because I'm one of these people who believe when you see it from a certain angle and you realise some of the merits that this game brings to the table, I think it can be absolutely amazing. But at the same time, I shouldn't get into a position where I feel like I have to force that opinion down people's throats and be like, you know, if you don't like Halo 4, you're an idiot. That's completely rubbish, and the bottom line is, if you're not passionate about a game anymore, you shouldn't play it. You certainly should not play it just out of loyalty to the franchise. It's the same thing as like a TV series when a TV begins to go into decline, at least in your opinion, and you're so invested in the characters, you're so invested in the plot lines that you don't want to stop watching, even though it got stale to you quite some time ago, and you eventually have to put it to rest. I had this problem with Call of Duty. I played Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1, thought they were absolutely amazing games. I thought Modern Warfare 2 was one of the funnest games I've ever played. It had a cataclysmic list of flaws and problems with it, but Black Ops 1 managed to register a lot of those problems, and it managed to deal with them quite effectively and offer a very balanced experience, and it was one of my favourite games of all time. Modern Warfare 3 comes out, and let's be honest, it was freaking terrible. The map design was awful, the graphics had barely been improved whatsoever. There was literally nothing that that game brought to the table that I thought that was great. There was a couple of kill streak options here and there which were quite interesting, but that's about it. That was it. So, you know, I've been doing YouTube videos on Call of Duty. I'd start to build up a small audience. I thought, oh, you know, I've got to stay with it. I've got to try and work with it. And what I start to realize is it's impossible to make good videos on games that you are not passionate about. And I'm sure you guys have probably picked up on this yourselves within the community. A lot of Call of Duty commentators still commentate it, even though you know for a fact that they are nowhere near as passionate about it as 2 years ago. And they kind of dance around that issue by making really gimmicky videos like trolling or tips and tricks, or just videos where they don't have to put much of their opinions in, because if they did, they don't have the passionate opinions about it anymore. They don't have that love for the game, the love for the actual gameplay, and want to talk about it because it's just not there anymore. And that's kind of what's made me realize, and I want to just be open and honest with you guys. If I was to not like Halo 5, if I was to not like one of the future Halo games, I wouldn't play it. That's just how it goes, because, you know, I feel like I'm 10 times better when I'm passionate about the game. Anyway, I've been Modest Major. Thank you for watching. Peace out.